Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jamila and this is Jamila Create. So it's been a while since I've done a tutorial, so today I am just going to do a quick one on how I get the most out of patchwork. So I have a couple of sewing patterns that I'm putting on my website for sale soon, and a couple of video tutorials with that, but I wanted to give y'all something that's free because the patterns will be like $5. So this little thing right here is just going to be how to take your sewing scraps if you have a pattern and you want to make it more patchwork. And this is how you take sewing scraps and make them into larger sewing scraps, and it also shows a little bit more of this new technique that I've been looking into. So here's the video. Okay, so apologies for the poor camera angle. I've been having a really hard time with it, but I have this piece of sleeve, and you see how I made this line here? That was to make sure that I had a straight line along the grain. I could kind of see where the knit, along the knit pattern, I could kind of see where that was going, and I just made myself a straight line by measuring, or by using a ruler and making sure that it was perpendicular to the pattern there. And so now I'm going to cut along this white line, and then I'm going to show you how to connect it to a non-stretch pattern, because the idea here, or to another fabric, the idea here is that I'm taking this piece and having the top be this green, like if I cut it off like around here, having the top be this stretchy green and the bottom be something else. Right. So I want it to cut off around here, which means we want the straight edge to be at the bottom. And I'm doing this with the right sides up. So just a mental note there. Okay, we want it to be something like this. So we could do that two ways. We can bother to cut the pattern itself and add seam allowance to each side, or we can kind of cheat it, which I'm going to do. I'm putting this guy in here. I just need to know how much to use, and I think this might be off camera, but I think I've got a good amount here, so I'm just gonna I want to make sure that the very tippy edge of the pattern gets included as well. Okay. And I know you're probably watching this going, silver? Why would you put silver on there? Well, the silver is going to have another fabric attached to it. Okay, so that's a good amount, and I don't think I need all of this either. This doesn't have to be a specific measuring yet, because you can use even the smaller scraps, but just want to make sure that this goes above this, and then chop where I think is reasonable. Yes, I am hand ripping these. Okay. So this caused a lot of frayed edges, but I'm going to use my serger. If you don't have a serger, you can use pinking shears. These make a zigzag cut, or you can use your machine on a zigzag function. Now, I want to get another piece of fabric this same size, and I'm going to cut it out of this. And then I'm just going to sew these two together. Normally you do right sides together when you're sewing fabric, but remember at the beginning of this I told you that I have my signature stitch right here, and how I do that is I serge with wrong sides together, so the serge is sticking out, and then I push everything to one side and top stitch. So I am just going to cut out the so I am just going to cut out this fabric with this rainbow print, slap it on top of here, and serge all three of these together. I can see this being frustrating, so I'm actually going to do something I don't really typically do when I do this method, and I'm going to do a quick small zigzag stitch just to hold everything together before I go to the serger with this, because there are like a million pins and I could see myself leaving one in there. And if you leave a pin in a sewing machine, it's risky, but it's not the end of the world. If you leave a pin in a serger, that's real bad. So I'm just going to zigzag and then serge, and I'll show you what it looks like serged before I top stitch. All right, so you can kind of see the zigzag here. I think I'm going to ignore that. I could serge it again, but I kind of like the chaotic look of this kind of trim. So now what you do is you pull this open and top stitch with a number 4 straight stitch, so like the largest straight stitch you can do, just along here to keep this flat. So that's part of it, but also you see how the serge kind of went off the edge there. This also keeps that in check and make sure that your seam is super secure. So I'm gonna do that and then put the pattern back on and cut it, and that's how you kind of get extra scrap pieces out of a scrap work top. Alright, so that was the video. You can see just one of the many uses I have here is this romper, where the front piece and side piece are supposed to be like 2 separate pieces, and then the top and bottom I've used this technique on to make a couple of different pieces. This is just a way that I'm showing you now that you can get the most use out of more of your scraps. So that is that, and I'll have some more examples in the next videos, the next couple of videos, including this one where showing the thumbnail here, where I will be showing you how to use that sewing pattern, and that is available on my website, which I'll link below on the next video. Alright, so hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please like and subscribe, and be sure to be creative with what I've showed you. You can use whatever techniques you want, but I would love to hear about if you guys do any cool things to patchwork your patterns or to get the most out of your patterns. Alright, bye!